Assalamualaikum. My name is Natasha binti Osisha. My matrix number is 23GIB90F202.
Hai, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Shuaida binti Azhar. My matric number 23DIB90F2064.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Amir Rahmati bin Ahmad Ta'ah. Nama matric saya 23DIB19F2046.
Alright, this is the objective of the journal in Takaful. Alright, risk management is very important in Islam, and Takaful provides a way to manage risk in business according to Sharia principles. This research paper attempts to identify the various types of risk involved in the Takaful business that can affect the operational investment function of Takaful operators around the world. It has set criteria for Takaful operators to manage such risks effectively. However, Takaful operators often face difficulties in managing market and credit risk because the nature of Sharia compliant Takaful contracts does not allow the prohibit Takaful companies from dealing with interest rates and financial derivatives that have been unanimously considered disgusting and defamatory of Sharia by Islamic jurists. This research identifies Islamic financial instruments such as cooperative hedging and bilateral mutual adjustments that aim to provide mutual benefits to both parties through risk sharing and can be used as an alternative to conventional derivatives. This research paper attempts to provide a framework to enhance the risk management culture among Takaful operators. It also discusses the challenges that need to be faced to improve risk management practice among Takaful operators. However, in insurance, the risk is the amount of loss associated with property or life. The risk to property can be loss or damage to cars, buildings, houses, and so on. Lastly, according to New Zealand risk management standards, it is a cultural process and structure that is directed towards the effective management of potential opportunities and adverse effects. In fact, risk management is an ongoing, relentless process that encompasses all aspects of our lives. Alright, for introduction, many Muslims misunderstand the concept of faith. Some Muslims believe that the future is in the hand of Allah, and they are facing with fatalistic mentality by putting themselves in the doctrine whether that one is rich or poor, happy or sad. It is fated by Allah. It is a good dealing with luck. In fact, Afras and prayers should precede this kind of belief. From Istiqlal Al-Islami 2003. Alright, risk to life can be described as poor health, premature death, bodily injury due to accident, death due to murder, and so on. Risk management is the process of identifying loss exposure faced by an organization and selecting the most appropriate techniques to treat those exposure. Alright, finally, the focus of this research paper is to identify the various types of risks associated with the Takaful business and formulate criteria for managing risk and enhancing the risk management culture among Takaful companies. It will also discuss the challenge of risk management in Takaful. The risks associated with Takaful have posed a number of challenges that need to be faced to improve risk management practice. Nevertheless, a frequent Sharia audits are found to be part of effective internal control that prevent companies from systemic crisis. Corporate governance requires the independence of the BOD to formulate policies for effective risk management, make impartial or partisan decisions, and be able to resolve issues related as SBS functions. Sharia-based challenges require the creation of innovative Islamic financial instruments. Sharia has many real solutions to resolve business dilemmas and does not hinder creativity. Exploring such solutions will help to meet the challenges of financial engineering. The Islamic financial market will facilitate the task of Takaful companies to invest the bulk of their funds in Islamic financial instruments and increase their efficiency and competitiveness. There is a need to set up private credit rating agencies that can have evaluate thousands of counterparties for the benefit of Takaful operators.
Okay, today I would like to present about risk management instruments or tools. Okay, the first is brainstorming. Okay, brainstorming is the first step is to plan a strategy. For this, the team members conduct brainstorming season with the project manager. This brainstorming season needs to include all the risks that could impact the project completion and success. The steps involved in this brainstorming process, first is reviewing all project documentation. Second, overseeing all historic data and information about risk from previous projects that are similar to the current one. Next is reading over articles related to the risk involved. Next, understanding all organizational process aspects, and lastly, any information available that will give right into the issue might occur while the project is going on. The project manager can also get touch with experts, team members, and other stakeholders who might have experience with handling risk in similar project. Next, number 2 is root cause analysis. Okay, this is a technique to help project members identify all the risks that embed in the project itself. Conducting a root cause analysis shows the responsiveness of the team members in risk management. It is normally used once a problem arises so that the project members can address the root cause of the issue and resolve it instead of just treating it symptom. It answers questions such what happened, why did it happen, how. Once the questions are answered, it becomes easier to develop a plan of action that it does not happen again in the future. Okay, number 3 is SWOT analysis. SWOT is an analysis to measure the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats to a project. This tool can be used to identify risks as well. The first step is to start with the strength of the project. That team members need to list out all the weakness and other aspects of the project that could be improved. Here is where the risks of the project will surface. Opportunities and threats can also be used to identify positive risks and negative risks respectively. Number 4 is risk assessment template for IT. There are some techniques that are used for other departments that can be used to manage risk within a project as well. A risk assessment template is usually made for IT process in an organization, but it can be implemented in any project in the company. Okay, number 5 is probability and impact matrix. Project manager can also use the probability and impact matrix to help in prioritizing risk based on the impact they will have. It helps with resource allocation for risk management. This technique is a combination of the probability score and impact score of individual risks. After all the calculations are over, the risks are ranked based on how serious they are. This technique helps put the risk in context with the project and helps in creating plans for mitigating it. Number 6 is risk data quality assessment. When project manager use the risk data quality assessment method, they utilize all the collected data for identify risks and find details about the risks that could impact the project. These are project managers and team based on data collected. The data quality assessment is used to improve the project manager understanding of the risk the project could face as well as collect all the information about the risk possible.
Number 7, variance and trend analysis. Just like other control process in the project, it helps when project manager look for variance that exists between the schedule of the project and cost and compare them with the actual result to see if they are aligned or not. If the variance rise uncertainty and risk also simultaneously, this is a good way of monitoring risk while the project is underway. It becomes easy to tackle problem if project member was trained regularly to look for variance. Number 8, reserve analysis. While planning the budget for the project, contingency measures and some reserve should be in place as a part of the budget. This is to keep a safeguard if it occurs while the project is ongoing. These financial reserves are a backup that can be used to mitigate risk during the project. Number 9, liquidity management. Have to cash flow modeling and liquidity ratios. On cash flow modeling, assess the amount of deficit, surpluses of liquidation value risk in order to meet the needs of the takaful industry. On liquidity ratios, set the amount of liquid asset required to meet the demands of the liability portfolio. Desired level of liquidity ratio will also help in determining the takaful operator's investment policies. Number 10, operational management. It is more complex as the iris for the failure of international process, prepare information system breakdown and non-compliance with regulatory standards. Number 11, fault tree analysis, FTA. Start with failure and works back to the component. Focus on the big picture unlike FMEA. Good choice for design activity. Use FMEA for new design technology unless failure modes are unknown. Number 12, turtle method. Start with a process and examine factors that influence the process such as training, equipment, procedure and installation. Conclusion. In the nutshell, an enterprise risk management arose when the traditional risk manager and the financial risk manager began reporting to the same individual in the corporation, commonly the title of chief financial officer. Each risk management specialty had its own terminology, its own methodology, and its own focus. However, it stayed with the risk the firm was facing. That it quickly became apparent that a common approach to risk management would be preferable to an individual approach and integrated approach preferable to a separatist approach. Next, the evidence success of first hazard risk management and later financial risk management has encouraged managers to try include this and other form of risk in the overall risk management strategy. Whether this approach success will depend on the ability of those involved in the separate risk categories to develop an integrated approach and extend it to the areas of risk. This is not truly a new form of risk management. It is simply a recognition that risk management means total risk management, not some subset of risk. The new focus of the concept of enterprise risk management provides an opportunity for risk managers to apply their well-established and successful approaches to risk on a broader and more vital scale than previously. This is an excellent opportunity to advise the science of risk management. Furthermore, to be able to understand the risk of the project and utilize this tool and technique to their full potential. The project member needs to be fully aware of the risk present. This can only happen when they have prior knowledge and training in management risk in the project. This way, they can easily understand the issue and risk of a project and take appropriate action on time. Finally, risk management is very important in Islam, and Takaful has provided a way to manage risk in business in accordance with Sharia principles. There are 5 types of risk that have been identified in the Takaful business that affect the operational investment function of the Takaful operator. Operational risk can be managed by enhancing the culture of corporate governance in the organization. Cash flow modeling and the use of liquidity ratios can help to identify liquidity constraints. Takaful operators may face difficulties in managing market and credit risk as the nature of Sharia compliance Takaful contract does not allow. Takaful companies to deal with interest rate and financial derivatives due to their speculative nature, whereby they are more likely to benefit one party when facing risk of another. On the other hand, Islamic financial instruments as cooperative hedging and bilateral mutual adjustment aim to provide mutual benefit to both parties to